You saw that girl on I think it was on TikTok where she was watching some Chinese show or like somebody sent her an episode of a Chinese show and it was a picture of her fiance and she was photoshopped out and the lead actress on the show was photoshopped in.
Oh.
It was a picture from her like put on her Instagram. So they just stole the photo, photoshopped her out, put an Asian girl in there, and they were just like, "Oh my god, yeah, I miss my boyfriend." And then it cuts.
Oh, it's fake.
It's fake.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
And so she was like, "Yo, you gotta see this." And I saw that. I was like, "Oh man, we're like super fucked. We're just like in that episode of The Matrix where you see the movie The Matrix, the first one where they're all inside their cells. You know, they're like." They're inside the pods.
Yeah.
We're being sucked for all our energy and all our efforts and data and everything by all these corporations. All these corporations are the sentinels.
Yeah.
And they're, of course, they try to be like, "Hey, we're on your side. Oh, it's good. We're great. We're right there with you, buddy. Yeah, all the movements, hashtag everything with you. Now, fucking sit in your pod so we can suck all your shit out of you, all your money, all your intelligence, all your love, all your hopes, and all your dreams." Damn. And they just continuously suck it out of us. But now that we took a fucking global pandemic and a fucking goddamn race riot for us to wake the fuck up, and we're like, "Oh, we're not doing this shit anymore. No, we're good." But we're still, I mean, in essence, we're still doing a lot of it. So it's tricky, man, because we're in entertainment, so we have to let the sentinels suck us off, right? We have to let the corporation.
I don't know if they're sucking us off or if they're fucking our asses.
Well, they're fucking and sucking. So
they're fucking and sucking.
Yeah. They'll suck us off a little bit. They'll give us a blowjob every now and then. But at the same time, they got a finger in our butt. And you're just like, "Oh man, this is. How much are you paying me again? Okay, all right, just keep it going." Like you don't want a blowjob from a shit person. I mean, you don't mind.
Well,
but
if you're desperate,
If you're desperate, right? And we're desperate.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I'm like, you didn't brush your teeth for 5 days? Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ulcer? All right, we're going to take a gamble.
Yeah. It's not herpes. It's just a canker sore.
Yeah, canker sore. The weather's off. I get it.
The weather's off.
Yeah. Climate change is affecting us. That's why you have that fucking canker sore on you. It's all right.
Climate change. How did you get HIV? Climate change.
Yeah, I mean, you could blame everything on climate change. Like, oh man, you know why Trump lost the election?
Climate change.
Thank you. That's how it all went. You know why they stormed the Capitol?
Climate change.
Yeah. You know why Asians are still not desired?
Small eyes.
Small eyes. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly. You get it. You understand.
Dude, I get it. Every day I look in the mirror, I'm like, why was I born?
Yeah. I look in the mirror and I'm just like, I got to get eyelid reconstruction surgery.
Yeah.
We got to go to Korea.
You don't need it. You already have because you're Vietnamese. You guys have the fucking double eyelids.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
I've been told I don't have it, and then I have people tell me that I do have it.
Do you know why? Because when you're like relaxed and you're not talking, your eyes chill out, and then it lets the second fold drop. But when you talk, you go from like, okay, so look, I'm gonna watch. This is artificial double eyelid. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what you look like without the eyes bugged out, because I have to bug them out to get double eyelid. But when you relax, you get it. So watch. Opposite. So watch.
Oh,
that's what you look like when you're relaxed. When you're not relaxed,
okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, when you're not relaxed, which I'm relaxed, you look like me. You have no eyelid.
So monolid.
No. You do this thing where your eyebrows don't raise, but then your eyelids just like suck up to your eyeballs because you're like, guys, fucking, when you're doing it, like you're like into what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah.
For auditions.
If you want to be Korean.
Yeah. Bug out to play Korean.
Yes.
I've gotten casted for Korean stuff too. Which, hey, I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Why are you just complaining? Just
I'll
fucking
be
part.
Yeah, just get the job. Just get the job done. As long as they're not white, as long as they're not Scarlett Johansson, we're good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As long as we're all eating. I want that. But we're still having trouble with that in our community. I don't know what it is. We're slowly uniting, like behind all the Stop Asian Hate thing.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit of it as long as you don't bug out your eyes. But if you look very closely, you're like, oh, okay, I see some unity. Okay, this is good. In the comedy community, yeah.
True. Well, you've been in comedy for a while, so what was it like previous to all this stuff that happened that kind of the Stop Asian Hate that united us a little bit more versus like, you know, the previous years?
It hasn't changed. Let me stop leaning in like I'm in a fucking like post NBA.
Yeah, I'm like,
fucking
your back is not gonna be happy.
Yeah, my back's already messed up from a kid, but from bending over all the time, picking up my kid, little fat burrito. But before, I think it's still the same, man. We're still having trouble getting on stage. There's nothing really changed. There was like a little peak of like Asian bookings. Like, I'll take all these Stop Asian Hate spots I can get, all right? I'll take them all. I have no shame, all right? But it peaked, and then it just went back to normal. But, I mean, maybe, like, it peaked, and then it's, like, at maybe, like, a higher grade. Because I see, like, people that we know in comedy, like, are starting to get, like, spots around the country. And I'm sure with that peak hit so high that we're able to get a couple more opportunities. And they trust us more with our jokes. So as long as
because we got our ass beat.
So many people got their ass beat for us.
So they trust us because we got fucked up.
Because we're not going to fuck them up.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like, okay, they're not as violent as we thought. Okay, so we can whoop their ass if they act out of character in the clubs. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you don't want to see a comedian that can possibly beat your ass for the most part. Comedians are supposed to be like, you know, self-deprecating, like, you know, not great fighters or whatever. But they're like, we bring an Asian dude in here, he might fuck up the whole joint. He might like he might upset an audience member. Next thing you know, like they're fighting outside and we got blood on our hands. But I mean, yeah. So we're getting more bookings.
Like blood on our hands because they got fucked up.
Yeah,
that's why. Because they didn't fight back. They're like, what do you do? Did you see that video of that Asian guy who was recording? Hit me! And I'm like, my guy, like,
what are you, the Joker? Like, relax.
Yeah, fucking. Do you have really good medical insurance? That doesn't, because you get views that way, but you're not helping because it's still proven that
you're inciting violence.
And it shows that that we're not gonna do anything. Right? And if they call him brave, I'm like.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's brave.
Dude, fuck the word brave.
Yeah, right?
Fuck the word brave. No, nobody's brave. You're not like really doing anything brave. Like the military's brave. Joining the military, that's fucking brave.
Yeah.
Life or death is brave, but now I blame it on the movie Brave that we're like throwing out. We use the word
with
brave
the
like
Irish
so
people?
much. Yeah, with the Irish. Like, why are they the symbol? Like, I blame the Irish for the usage of the word brave, and Disney as a corporation for making the word brave so misused. It's like the word hilarious, right? Like the Louis C.K. bit. It's like it's used so much. Like, what's gonna happen when something real fucking happens? What word are you gonna use then? Yeah, so it's funny to use the word brave in comedy, like, oh, that's so brave. You're so brave. You're so brave. That's how silly it is now. Yeah. What I mean, that's the whole generation of like social media and TikTok and everything and Instagram. Everyone's upping everybody so much, which is cool. But at what point do you realize it's all bull? It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit because you're like, as soon as you do something not so brave or you have fun, you actually do something actually brave. They're like, whoa, because when you do something brave, you put everything on the line, and then you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up when you're trying to be brave, and you're gonna make mistakes and everything. Trying to be brave. Hey, fucking doing comedy is kind of brave, not so brave, depending on the audience. Go to Trump country and do Trump jokes. That's brave. Doing Trump jokes in Los Feliz, not so brave. Yeah. That's not brave. That's not brave at all. You're just like. You're in your little echo chamber, like, people that just, oh yes, that's so brave. That's so, you're not brave. Go to Fresno.
Oh yeah, Fresno.
yeah. Go to Fresno or Modesto and then talk to them. Make them laugh about themselves instead of like laughing at other people. So, and that's brave. I don't know. Sorry, you triggered me a little bit, and I had to speak my truth about the word.
No,
brave.
I want your truth. But you're right about that because it's a lot of. It's not like actual like It's like it's like.
Yeah.
Snapping bullshit.
It's called clapter.
Clapter?
Clapter.
Oh,
clapping and laughter. And that is it's one of the most suffocating types of comedy you'll ever see. It's like, oh, I'm this gender or that gender now. And you're like, oh my God. And you're like, okay. I mean, What changed? Nothing.
Yeah.
Cool. We've already accepted you as is, as a human being, but I don't know. I guess like they don't have people that accept them. Like, but like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the right way to put it because when people come at us all these new things and absorb all these new identities, cool. Hey, I'm all for it, but what are you gonna do for the society now? Because it's mostly like, stroking yourself all day. When you like try all these new things, like we are always stroking ourselves all day. Mm-hmm. We're all with all our hobbies and all our activities. Like we have so much on our fucking plates already. Things that we're trying to accomplish, things that we're trying to be great at. But then everybody who's doing that, they want you to care about what they're doing too. You're like, I'm trying to do my thing. I don't know how I got on this conversation.
Dude.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is free flow.
I don't know.
We talk about everything.
Yeah.
Don't even worry. This is
I don't even know how I got in this conversation, but it's easy to support. Oh yeah, the whole like Brave thing, like
Matrix.
Matrix, Brave,
Asians,
and then everything. Yeah. But I mean, it's cool. We're getting bookings here and there. I was able to just do more and more stage time throughout the years. That's good. But I've just been staying in the pocket. So staying in the pocket has really helped me just see all these movements for what they are. And I'm like, oh, cool, this is going on. Great. I'll donate to your campaign. I'll donate to your fundraiser. Oh, that's great. But I got to continue doing my thing. And the fact that I can stay doing my thing, it's really helped me work on stand-up. Because that's the most important thing to me at the end of the day is stand-up. And I get to work. I'm blessed enough to like work on like TV shows or whatever, commercials, whatever. That's great too. That's fucking fantastic. And I'm sure some of those storylines were born out of the Stop Asian Hate movement. Where they're like, wow, this really struck a chord. So we got to write about it. We got to talk about it. And for them to actually have interesting characters now, I think is like definitely... all our hard work is like the fucking alley, and then Stop Asian Hate was the hoop, if that makes sense. So you're like, okay, cool. They're like on the fence. The industry is still on the fence about Asian people for the most part. So they're going to go with identities versus race before that. So, well, what's your whole vibe? What's your whole identity? What's your fan base? Who do you entertain? And then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, and Asian's probably the last thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to immediately go with Asian. They're going to look at everything that you worked on. They're going to look at everything that you are a part of, your talent, right? You got to have talent first, and then they look at what's going on in the movements, and then they put it all together, and then they freaking finally find that like the right thing for their product, which is fine. I get it. Sentinels gotta, do their thing. They gotta.
Now they have names.
Yeah, now
and
they have
personalities,
names.
right?
Yeah, names and personalities. They're called industry plants. Yeah, those are the sentinels that you got. You see them when you see them, but as long as you continue doing what you're thinking, like the movements, like you support what you support. But I feel like if you're constantly supporting freaking everything, like you ever made the mistake of like donating like $5 to like a political person or whatever?
Never.
Oh man, you're so lucky.
I felt guilt when I would say no, when they tried to make me feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But I would just walk away. I'd make my legs move before I felt enough guilt to be like, oh, hold on, okay.
That's smart because again, like politicians are all fucking garbage, and I knew they were like truly garbage when they're selling all our data. Like you donate $5, dude, they will sell all your freaking data to all their friends. And you got motherfuckers coming in from out of the woodworks like, hey, can I get 5? Hey, last chance. Oh my God, help rescue us. Like my $3 is not going to rescue your campaign, Gavin Newsom. Like, why don't you take care of Los Angeles a little better? Then we'll talk. Or like California. I don't even know what the fuck he does anyway. Is he the governor or the mayor?
He's the governor, but I don't really know what he does besides piss people off.
And eats his fancy dinners. He's like Nancy Pelosi's like nephew or some shit. So there's all the California politicians, and politicians in general, they benefit off nepotism a lot. I mean, like it went all the way back to like the Kennedys and everybody who gets in office puts all their family in office. So like nothing new, there's nothing new with Trump. There's nothing new with him putting all his family in power. That's what you do. If I got into a position of power, guess what? I'm putting all my homies in there.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. There's nothing like controversial about that. It's been going on since the beginning of time. You take care of people who take care of you. And ooh, I don't even know how I got on this conversation. I'm just like going on these like random like rants. I feel like I haven't. You got a guy right now that has been trapped inside his house with his wife and his kid,
right?
and I just work. I live a very simple life, and I just I'm doing my things here and there, and it's good. But comedy has definitely changed for the better with all the movements going on. You're starting to see more diversity in comedy and diversity in identities, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing. I don't need 17 white guys doing stand-up in a row. You know, okay. I was watching the history of comedy, and that's all it was. And a couple black guys. All white dudes, all white identifying dudes, and then you see like a couple of black dudes here and there, and then that was comedy. That was stand-up. You're like, nobody else was allowed to speak until like, you know, Red Fox came along and was able to like change the whole game up. And it's cool like hearing like back in the days, they used to like get records and like wait for the kids to fall asleep and listen to a record.
Who would?
Like families.
Oh, because it's so dirty. Or
yeah,
cursing,
it's so
right?
dirty.
Right.
That it is so dirty that people would just like wait for everybody to go to bed, and then like they would just put on a record and sit there just laugh at all these like wild like thoughts. That's how far we've come along. But then like we're trying to go back to it, which is like we're like no, we're not gonna go back to it. Like the woke movement has died. It's officially dead. So the fact that we can go do our thing, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I think it ties into a lot of like how religion is also on its way out, and it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. It's so fucking refreshing.
So refreshing that belief is dying.
Yeah, that I mean the thoughts of like the purpose of religion is great. Yeah. All right, take care of each other. But then when it's like weaponized, then you're like, oh, go fuck yourself. Like, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. It's
control.
Yeah, it's control. So the fact that that's on its way out, but we're keeping like the principles of it. Sure, you know, be kind to thy neighbor or whatever. Don't fuck my wife. That type of stuff. That's respectable. Okay. Yeah.
Don't kill people for the fuck of it.
Yeah. Don't kill people for the fuck of it. Like all those thoughts and tenets are like fantastic. Let's keep that part. Let's tax the fucking churches. Whoever can pay gets to stay. If you can't pay your taxes, guess what? Just like every other fucking business, you got to shun your doors. Done.
Goodbye, Joel Osteen.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Joel Osteen. Like, fuck that guy.
Dude, my dad used to make me fucking watch him on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is going on? And he just got big teeth. And he's like, this is my Bible. And I'm like, why the fuck?
Has anyone seen my hair gel?
Yeah. Dude, people told me I look kind of like Lionel Richie a little bit. Jerry curl.
You got to close the eyes too. He does the eyes closed. Like he's appropriating culture there. Where he's like, oh yeah. And you know when the Lord came to me and he said, don't let all the people into my church during the floods. He was thinking about my carpet. You know, like I just don't want him. The bill. I just couldn't foot the bill. They said there were like money in the walls or some shit. But that's so hilarious. And I actually listened to Joel Osteen when I first got here because, you know, when you first get here and there's like nothing for you really.
Okay. Well, you first got here from, you moved from, where was that?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. And you moved 2007 and you didn't know anybody here in California.
I knew like one person and they ended up like, I had good credit when I got here. And they asked me, there was like a friend from back in Dallas, but he lived out in Orange County. And he introduced me to like his aunt who like once wanted to produce my project. Okay. Like she had like fuck you money. So I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll sell you my script. Here's this. I just Googled the rate for her script and then she paid me. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're going to keep doing this. And then he had me co-sign a car for him because he had no credit. But he had like cash like from like he did nails. He like did nails.
Oh, he's Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Vietnamese. Yeah, a lot of Vietnamese people do that.
Yeah, that's
guys
their
do that
hustle.
too.
And they're good at it.
They
make
shit.
Bank.
And they're straight too.
Bro, it's weird.
Right?
And they got all their eyebrows done too. So like, you know, they really get into the culture. They all have shiny nails and they're really good at it, which, hey, more power to them. There's like so much money being made there. And if you can feed your family doing whatever the fuck it is, do it.
Hell yeah.
Do it. No shame on anything. But the downside to working for cash mostly is that you have no credit. So I was like, trying to build up my credit before I even got here for whatever reason. I was like, oh, my sister told me it's the thing I'm supposed to do, have good credit. So I had good credit, signed a freaking loan for him, and then he just took off with the car and didn't pay for it. So I signed the loan for him, and then he just like disappeared with the car, and I didn't care because I'd already moved back. I'd already made the jump to LA from Orange County because I had like free housing down in Orange County while I was like writing the script.
Where at?
Huntington Beach.
Who gave you free housing?
The producer. She had like an extra house in Huntington Beach that she put me up in.
The whole house to you?
No, I had like the upstairs area. Like she rented it out. Oh. It was like an investment property, and then I lived upstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was like, okay, you could just stay upstairs and do your thing. We'll give you like a little room. We'll let you write. We'll let you do your thing. And it was cool. I would ride down the little pathway from Huntington Beach to Newport Beach and look at all the yachts. I'm like, damn, that's like insane. That is like destroy a small country money.
Yeah.
Like each and every one of those person with a yacht has destroyed a small country. Like siphoned off all his resources and everything. That's the kind of money they have down there.
Yeah, you got to get the mercenaries, right?
Yeah. Or like you're like a fucking dentist or some shit like that, right?
Like really good dentist who does a lot of cosmetic.
Yeah, cosmetic, keeps the housewives like smiling, keeps the fucking real estate agents popping. They're just like, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy to go to. But after I did all that, and then the project like just got shelved. Dude, we had like Bai Ling attached. You remember Bai Ling from Lost?
Oh, wait. Is she the one that was kind of like a model?
Yeah, like
really
super,
small face,
super tiny.
small head.
Yeah. She was like this tall.
Yeah, she looked kind of like a
child.
sexy mummy. A little bit. That was
because she was so pale in the face.
Yeah, just hot and creepy at the same time.
Dude,
I loved it.
I've seen her once in person, and she is so tiny.
How small is she in real life?
She is like maybe like 5 foot, like 1 or 2.
She looks like she's like 5'7".
No, she's
because proportionally really long legs, right, and all that.
I stood next to her, and she was like right here.
What the fuck?
And her boyfriend or whatever was like this fucking defensive lineman looking black dude.
I knew it. When they're really small Asian girls,
always
they love the gigantic black guys to fuck them to death.
Like you use them as a pocket pussy. Like that's
literally because they're so small, and then you're wondering how does that all go in you? It's got to hit your stomach.
Well, fucking larynx.
Yeah, it's right.
Fucking blow out your
my throat.
Yeah, blow out your trachea, man. That is wild. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is all right. I like it. Hey, do you?
Hell yeah.
Do you get what you want? But yeah, you see that, which is cool. I'd rather see an Asian woman with a black guy than an Asian woman with a white guy.
Yeah.
Because Asian and black, we winning together.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Got to unite them together. That's fucking Rush Hour. Your child is Rush Hour.
Like Asian and white, she's just going to quote Wes Anderson films like all day long. And you're just like, there's no winning here. There's no winning here.
Yeah. And then they're always going to get Chinese takeout. Be really rude when they get it. Last time you gave me more orange chicken?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. As an Asian person, like I just, and I hear this from like all the uppity Asian girls, like I have so many friends that I can bring here and support your business. and I've heard it so many times working in the service industry. Anytime I see an Asian woman standing with a manager, it's always like, and I don't, and trust me, I never do this. I'm so sorry. You know, they always put their hands like this. Like,
That's so true.
They're like, I'm so sorry. I never do this. This never happens. But thank you for like making modifications on my entire table. And you know, just I'm glad you guys refired up my entire table and redid all the dishes and all the drinks. Just because like there was like a piece of dust in one like dish. Thank you so much for redoing everything. I'm gonna bring all my friends here. You're gonna be so packed. I see it all the time. And I'm like, this is not good for us. She obviously fucks a white guy. This is white guy behavior.
She's hoping that she turns white by fucking letting him jizz in her pussy.
I mean, by association, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. You know, soon enough, they're gonna start turning white. Hair goes blonde. Mm-hmm. Then they start reading Charles Bukowski. They'll just like, you know, bring their Bukowski books out and just like, oh, LA is just what a jungle.
Sometimes at night, Bukowski glass of Chardonnay does it get any better than that? No,
it's Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Have you tried the avocado toast from Jimmy? I was gonna say Jimmy. Oh yeah, but they're like.
But he makes a good avocado toast.
He does. You're right. It's like you need to go to like I've tried avocado toast at like I think 15 different places, and this spot. Oh my god, it's bring your boyfriend there.
Yeah, and you'll get Whitey points.
Whitey points. So you were a server.
Brownie points.
Whitey points.
Whitey points.
White, not white chocolate.
Whitey points.
Whitey. You know what's crazy now is like white people are like that's racist too about themselves.
Yeah.
I saw a video of this guy, this black dude said Caucasian, and his white girl was like, "That is racist to us." Okay, I'm offended, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, she wasn't being silly?
No,
it was no joke.
No, but you should see on TikTok. I don't know, it was on Instagram, but you should see on TikTok as well. That's where it's going to as well. Like now, white people are really being like that.
They're finally speaking up, Mike. We better watch ourselves. They're finally speaking up.
They've been oppressed by us for so long. All the minorities, we have been. Oh my god, dude. They're like, why is there color here?
I think they're starting to scream racism because you're starting to see more white people in service industry jobs. Like I'm seeing like white Uber drivers. I'm seeing white servers. I'm seeing like white landscaping dudes. So like the more and more, the more and more you see like white people working in service industry jobs, you're like, oh, the marches are coming.
They're oppressed.
Their marches are coming.
Yeah.
They're gonna be walking across
YLM or WLM. White Lives Matter.
We can't breathe.
Give us more oxygen.
Hands up, don't scoot.
Give us more leg room in the airplane.
Oh my god. I'm sure it's coming. Well, I mean, we already had our first White Lives Matter march. That was like January 6th, right?
Oh, you mean the fucking what are they called? The invasion of the Capitol?
So storm the Capitol.
Storm the Capitol.
Yeah, that was like the White Lives Matter march of our generation. I mean, it used to be like Klan marches, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That were completely legal. That were like a bunch of congressmen who were in the Klan and a bunch of people like in power, and they still are in the Klan. The Klan's very well, like they're still alive and well. Yeah. They just wear like a Brooks Brothers suits now, and then, like that's when you can't wear your mask. That's when you know something's wrong. But yeah, that was a White Lives Matter march, and then now you have like the Storm the Capitol. That was a White Lives Matter march. Any Proud Boy march is a White Lives Matter march, even though the leader is like a Latino dude, but like obviously he's like a plant. Mm-hmm. So like he was like a CIA plant. Like that was found out to be true. Like I'm not even joking.
Okay, the whole time I thought you were doing a bit.
No. This is real. This is real.
Wait. He was a CIA plant?
Yeah, he was like he worked for the intelligence community, and they planted him there, and when they locked him up, like I forget his name, but like he ratted out everybody, and you don't just rat out everybody like that.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, man, I just, so like that's also done. Like when you have somebody at the top like that, and of course, like that's what COINTELPRO is for. Like the counterintelligence program. Okay. So it's called COINTELPRO. Yeah. Anytime there's any kind of movement, regardless of what race it is, they plug people into that community to see what's going on. COINTELPRO was probably involved in Stop Asian Hate.
Probably, I mean...
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
shit.
They're only releasing videos of like black people attacking Asian people. I'm like, yo, where are the other ones?
Yeah.
Where are the other ones?
There was a lot of other ones.
Yeah. But the news was like, no, like this is what's going on. They're like, it's always black and Asian, black and Asian, black and Asian. I'm like, no. This is not the only videos that you have.
Yeah.
Come on, diversity matters, representation matters. Yeah. All right, show me like different races like fucking us up in the streets. So you see that going on, and you're like, oh yeah, this is more COINTELPRO bullshit because they're trying to start a race riot because there's money involved in a race riot.
True.
There's billions involved in race riots. Are you kidding me? Yeah, are you gonna not do that? That like there's money involved in every single downfall of every single like area of society.
Yeah. So, but even their own people capitalize, because what I've seen in the Asian community was I saw a lot of people they were talking about unity with blacks and this and that, blah blah, and like we got to stop all the hate. They weren't doing shit, but like building their following and getting like points for and like and I'm, you know, like and I'm making videos like, you know, bringing my black friends on and like, yo, like we can handle this. So I'm like at least trying to do it in my own little way. But I would notice with them, and they have a lot of money, these Asian people, and I'm 100% certain they want the Asian hate shit to happen because they have enough money to be in places where they're protected, but that's the easy way for them to get like political clout and like power and respect, but they're not doing shit and they're fucking drinking champagne with their fucking homies, all dressed up. And I see it at these galas and all this stupid ass shit. It's the dumbest fucking thing. And then they're looking at me like, Mike, yeah. No, Mike came. He's a funny guy. Anyways,
all the projects you're working on, I don't see any black people. What's going on here?
That's what I'm saying. No, they don't include. I remember got into a debate with this one guy. I was like, oh, what I think a solution to a lot of this stuff happening is like we should just actually hang out instead of meeting with a bunch of other Asians and fucking talking amongst each other. Because all of them didn't have one black friend, one Mexican friend. They didn't hang out with anybody else. But like we have friends of all backgrounds, especially in comedy too, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if anything, they should use us to like, what should we do, Alex and Mike?
No, the last time the Asians brought me into like just this whole program about elevating Asian comedians, and the first red flag was like I had never seen anybody in that room do stand up. So I was like, wait, you're not stand ups. You're like you do sketches and stuff. And when they were talking about like. They were like, who are your favorite Asian comics? And I was like, well, Asian wise, like it's at that time it was Bobby Lee. This was like years ago. And they're like, oh yeah, so like what's your favorite bit about a bit that he does? And so I recited the bit about how some Asian women, like they don't date Asian guys because they're like, oh, because he has a small penis. Like, have you seen that bit?
Who?
Bobby Lee.
I don't remember.
So he does that bit about how like I don't date Asian women because they have purple pussies. Like it's a hilarious.
I remember that.
And it's like, oh, guess what? You're a fetish. You know, you're like a foot. And I think that joke is so fucking funny. And it still holds up today. It still kills. I'm just like, he's been doing it for a while. But when I did that bit in the room, I knew there weren't stand-ups because they couldn't laugh at it. They were like, oh, okay. And then they ended up cutting that part out. Even when I went over to like BuzzFeed to talk about like yellowface and stuff, I was explaining to them like comedy was different way back in the days. Yeah, it's shitty, but at that time it was funny. Like all the yellowface stuff, it's funny to them, the people that were watching. So it's offensive to us, but we're not watching it. We're not really watching Breakfast at Tiffany's at that time. So when they were doing it and they were like laughing at that joke, and Marlon Brando was doing yellowface, that was the thing. And then they cut me out of that too.
Wow.
Because they deemed it like offensive. I wasn't outraged enough for their network. So they want to get clicks on outrage. So the more mentally fucking ill you are, the more clicks you get these networks, and the more money they make off your back. So the advertising dollars, the Sentinels, can feed more off of you again.
And then you're cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like we are cannon fodder, especially the ones that are like willing to speak out on things. Because I would have people ask me to say certain things on like the internet. Especially when like I was first like really popping. And then over time I'm like, wait, why don't you say something?
Yeah.
You know?
They're scared.
Yeah, but they were using me as like the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And like a sacrifice, and then I would get backlash for certain things on the internet. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll be a vanguard for the community. And then I realized, wait a minute, like a lot of Asians will support us, but there's also a lot that will like just fucking crucify us just for even standing up for.
Yeah, God forbid we stand up for ourselves. It's not in our culture necessarily to stand up for ourselves. It's that happy to be here bullshit, especially like a first generation person. Like when I first got here, I was happy to be here. But then as soon as
every time you say when I first got here, like it just sounds
when I first got here from the war, when I stepped off the Santa Maria, I was
communism.
Pilgrim now, yeah. The old communism. You know, when I got off the communism ship. No, when I first got here from Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah, I was happy to be here, getting my opportunities, working my way up the ladder and everything. I was happy to be here. But then at a certain point, you start getting angry. You're like, No, I'm not just happy to be here. I want more. I want to get paid a fair rate for my performances, and honestly, that's not a lot for a comedian. We're asking for $5 and like a drink ticket or a meal. Right? If I can get all three of those, wow, you really made me feel like a goddamn star here. This is great.
Literally, the homeless people would say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's get $5 and maybe a meal and something.
Like, you can't treat us like a little better than that. Like, you can't give us like an extra $1. Like, we're like panhandlers out here. Like, comedians are basically like panhandlers with like a better flannel shirt.
We're like hookers though, but then we don't take the money first because we're like, well, at least we get attention.
No.
That we didn't get from childhood.
No, that's changing, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's changing.
No, we got to change that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like, we are changing it right now by asking for money. Even though these little shows like LA, with all the bullshit that they talk about being progressive and diversity and representation matters, that's great and all, but I need a couple dollars in my pocket. Mm-hmm. I need some spending money. I need to replenish the gas that was used to get here and do your show.
So you could drive back also.
Yeah.
After breaking even. To have your baby throw up on your chest.
Yeah, thank you. Can I buy my baby a couple diapers? Like, can I step away from my child? Can I pay my babysitter a little bit to do your show? In more and more cases, I am able to do that now, which is great because people are just more open to the idea of Asian performers. Because that's still like a difficult thing. That's still an uphill climb. There was like a peak with like Vietnamese performers specifically because we're like the last in line. We're like the last in line right before like the other South Asian countries, like Laotian, Cambodian. Like they're nowhere. It's ridiculous, right? Because entertainment wasn't like a big deal in those cultures. So like you got like what's her name? Rosie Marie Tran from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like she did Star Wars, and I don't see her anywhere anymore. Where the fuck is she?
Didn't people? It's because people like hated her.
Oh, that's right. She got bullied, right?
Yeah, she got bullied
by a bunch of fucking incels. That's right.
Yep.
She got bullied by a bunch of fucking incels, and she just couldn't handle it, which is rough, because you're like, your parents were obviously nice to you, so I'm like, dang it. Oh, she had good parents. Oh,
the way she smiled.
Yeah,
her smile was like
sweet.
My dad hugged me.
Yeah, my dad said I love you to me, and I'm like, oh man, that's great, but. I'm sure like they trained her for it, right? They prepared her for it. You would think they would prepare you for like, all the backlash that was going to come your way, right?
Who would prepare?
The networks. They have people that actually come in and train you for all that bullshit.
Really? They do that?
Yeah, like mentally prepare you for what's going on. They call it media training. So you're going to go on the late night talk shows. You're going to talk. You're going to they're going to tell you what kind of questions are going to be asked. They're going to tell you how to be prepared, how to hold yourself. Just things to like look out for, right?
But how do they train you for haters? You know what I mean?
No one can train you for haters. Only the streets can train you.
Right? But I have an idea. Put her in a room.
Yeah.
Bring people of every ethnic background and different ages, all demographics, like just one of each, get like maybe 20 people, and have all of them, including Asians, say, you stupid fucking chick.
Yeah.
You sucked at Star Wars before Star Wars even came out.
Yeah.
So she's mentally, and she's going to cry.
She's
like, what did I do? The movie didn't even come out. Shut up, whore. They'll yell at her. So she gets
Say it. Right? Say me love you long time.
Say you fucking bitch. No, say it.
Oh my God.
We love you. You don't even sound Asian.
Yeah, dude, she would like lose a part of her soul, but she would work for the rest of her life. Like
because she'd be mentally fucking prepared for that.
That's fucking that would be prepared. That would prepare her for all that. But now like I guess she couldn't handle it, so now like she kind of like fell off. But because you gotta fucking strike while the iron's hot. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. And her shit was like smoldering. She was being looked at for all these projects, but I mean. It's so sad, but there's like maybe like two other Vietnamese actresses that are like doing really well. I mean, legendary Maggie Q, she's Vietnamese and white.
Oh, Maggie Q.
Yeah, Maggie Q, she's Vietnamese and Caucasian, and the other one, she was on Watchmen. I've done like workshops with her.
Vietnamese woman on Watchmen?
Yeah, crazy, right? And she did that Matt Damon film about like the tiny homes about shrinking yourselves. Her name's gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Really nice girl. Like we used to go to classes together, like acting classes. Really cool. I knew she was gonna blow up just because like she's like that presence. You know, you're like I feel like you see someone, you're like, oh, I can have a lot of interesting conversations with this person. I think that's what they define as it.
The it factor, right?
Yeah, the it factor. You're like, whoa, this person is like, I'm meeting the tip of the iceberg here. Like, I think that's that it factor that they talk about. But no, like, well, people are working more and more and more, so it's exciting. It's exciting, but they need that media training where instead of, well, I think what you were suggesting was like a roast. Where you're trying to do.
Yeah. Desensitizing from, you know.
Yeah, they have to get roasted as part as your training to go do this project. You sit there, you bring all these roast writers in there, they have these amazingly well-crafted jokes, and they burn you down so you can rise from the ashes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, all right, you can handle this. This is good. Like, so, because if you can get through a roast, you can get through a lot. And I think that's what's needed. I think that's why it's still like popular, like the whole roasting format. People love to watch people get roasted, like on Reddit, the hashtag roast me. The roasting is still a thing. Like, I have a Cameo account where I roast people.
Really?
And people love it. People from all walks of life. People with illnesses. People on like terminal illnesses want to get roasted.
They want
yeah.
you to roast them?
Yeah. They're like, hey, I have cancer. I got like 3 months to live. Can you please just go hard on me? Just go hard on me. I just want to laugh. All this stuff is just awful. Everything I'm going through is awful right now. I want you to roast me. I want you to wake me up. So I do it. I come at them like, I wrote 15, 20 jokes for you and your fucking family. Let's go. And that's what's missing. So, because if we get back to this Puritan society, which like they keep every so and so many years, they try to get us back to the Puritan like way of life. Like, everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. We're living in Stafford. Hey, neighbor. Hey, which we already kind of do that. I mean, with before Corona, of course. I think people in general were mostly decent to each other, right? Except like on the freeway or some shit. Like, if you act like an asshole on the freeway, then you're threatening someone's life. Yeah. You're threatening their livelihood, and that's when they're gonna snap. Which is, again, fine. Just don't chase people to their house. That's so stupid.
That's psychopathic, man.
You need help.
Yeah.
You need help. That's when
you might get murdered.
You might get murdered. You never know if the guy has a bigger gun than you. Like, everybody's fucking locked and loaded these days.
In California, the ones that are usually chasing don't have the guns.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a great metaphor. Like, the biggest shit talker have like the smallest fucking pieces in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone who's like got the biggest mouth has never been punched in the face.
They haven't.
They haven't.
That's what stops me. And you know, sometimes when I'm like, man, fuck, and I'm like, hold on a minute, and I flash back to the time I got jumped and I couldn't even.
Of course.
Like, I thought I could. Like, there was 4 dudes, and I thought I was gonna fight back every single one, like Jackie Chan stuff. 'Cause I watched so many Jackie Chan movies that like brainwashed me into thinking if I get hit, I just go oh, and I fucking fucked them up. Didn't happen. I curled up into a ball. Just got stomped out, right? So, like, you're right. They need to get fucking either not knocked out because they don't remember the pain.
Yeah.
They need to stay awake.
Yeah, feel the pain.
Hurt.
Feel the fist crunch through your face. And that's not everybody. That's like the people that have the biggest fucking mouthpieces. Like, I want to see how you act after you get hit in the face once in your life. And once in your life. Not like some people need to get punched on the regular. But most people, I feel like you need to get like rocked once. Get your bell rung once in your life. It'll make you a way better person. I'm not encouraging violence. I'm just encouraging decency. No, but how did we get on this conversation again? About getting hit in the face?
Oh, there was a point to it, right?
Yeah, there was a point to it.
Oh my God.
I'm terrible at this.
Well, I'm blanking out too, actually. I was just really into it. I was like, I agree.
Yeah. No, like, it's a...
Smallest guns are the ones that are the loudest.
Yeah, the loudest people have like the smallest guns. And I think if people were decent in general. Yeah. I think people as a society were decent in general. Corona broke our fucking brains. So we're like trying to get back to it. We're definitely trying to get back to like decency. Like, and people were like way nicer. When we were like allowed back into society, for the most part, people
when we first, because they were desperate.
Yeah.
We're like, oh hey guys.
Yeah. Do you have extra toilet paper in your home? Please, I will do anything.
Like it's sugar.
Yeah. We're getting back to like a whole bartering system. I was trading stuff for stuff with my neighbors. Like, oh, if you got this, oh, I'll give you like a whole fucking like the people would just drop off like bags of stuff to us, and we would do the same thing. It was really nice. It was a really nice time. So, but I feel like every time we try to go back to that, like that Puritan way of life, it hurts us. Because we're not dressing, you know, like when you're trying, people that who are nice all the time eventually snap and they fucking shoot up your workplace.
Yeah,
I think that's what happens in that situation. If it's all repressed, then you start doing all this fucking creepy dark shit behind your family's back when you should be able to be yourself and with your family. You know, I'm still working on that. I'm trying to be decent. Like, I don't want to fuck my daughter up. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, this is like a clean hard drive. Then my kid's like perfect right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess her up. And now it's like, what schools do I put you in? Like, well, what sitter do I need to like get you with? I just don't want her to get fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't want people to unload all their fucking luggage onto my child. So like I have to be careful with the teachers. I have to be careful with everybody. I have to be careful with the school, like their whole way of thought. That's another thing, because I don't want to raise a simp. You know, I don't want to raise like a girl who's easily manipulated by the system, because the patriarchy ain't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Praise God. I'm kidding. No, like I don't want her to be a victim of that bullshit. So I want her to be able to navigate, bob and weave, fucking and hold her own always, and like hold her own. That's all we want to be able to like have our child.
Asian female.
As an Asian woman, damn, that's gonna be tough.
Yep.
You know the whiteys are gonna be after her. You know they're gonna be after her.
She's one of the chosen ones.
Yeah,
Straight up. She's like, but I never wanted to be royalty. You were born into it.
Welcome. It's in your blood.
And then everybody's like, we need to make her why is it in the movies, right?
Yeah.
You have royal blood. You have to fulfill your role. It's like, but I'm afraid. I don't think I can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, you're gonna bring shame onto your onto the legacy. This is your legacy.
To be a fetish.
To be a fetish for Ridley Scott. I don't know why. That was just the first like white director in the front of my brain. But yeah, I don't even know. I just maybe I hope she's like a lesbian or something. I don't know.
She'll be more badass. She'll speak her mind even more.
Oh, I would love it. That'd be refreshing for her not to be some just bland friggin' person just to come home and just like, oh yeah, this and that, and just be like indifferent. That I feel like a lot of our generation is indifferent. I don't want to raise an indifferent child that is just like, I guess, whatever. That shit annoys me so much. Like you see a lot of like the kids that grow up in wealthy households. They're all indifferent. Yeah. There's like, there's no fire burning in them at all.
Because they didn't get
lights on, nobody's home.
They didn't really have anything to lose or like any true struggle.
Nothing. So like I fear that so much to have like an indifferent child. Like, damn, you don't like anything?
Yeah.
Nothing? Oh, it scares me, man, because I want her to fight for something in her life and just something that she cares about. I'm like, okay, if this is where you want to, like, use up a lot of your energy, then great, cool. Just, don't hurt people, I guess. Like, don't just be cool, but I want her to be able to, like, defend herself. So I'm like,
maybe you should just scream at her every once in a while, just to, like, be like, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's going to make her be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do... I like the other thing, yeah. But that's the thing. You don't want her... You don't really want... You want her to do the... Hold on. You don't want her... Okay, you want her to do the thing you're saying don't do.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll sit her down at the table and I'll just, like, take apart my guns and clean them.
That's fucking Texas as fuck, dude.
Yeah, and I'll be like... This is not for you. This is not for you. And then she's going to be like a badass assassin when she grows up.
Oh, yeah.
And then she could defend herself. I think that'll be cool. She grows up to be an assassin. Ooh, work for like Interpol or something. She's like a female Jason Bourne. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Like, she doesn't know what she's capable of, but like when she does do it, she's like, whoa, this is cool. And then she's able to like take down systems. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Dude.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, because we don't know what jobs are going to be in place like when they grow up. I'm like terrified that I'm bringing a child into this world. I'm not, but I am, because you don't know what institutions are going to be around in like 18 years. 16, 17, 18 years. I mean, yeah, go in the medical field and just like have them work you to death. Like, I don't know. I mean, all respect to people in the medical field. My wife's in the medical field, and I'm like, luckily she's not in like a real medical field. Like, she's in dentistry, so that's not real. That's not the real medical field to me. Yeah, that's medical field adjacent.
Yeah. Hey, so you guys imagine having a conversation with like another couple at a dinner table. Your wife's next to you, and then the person across. So, you're a dentist? Oh my God. Should I call you a doctor now? And you're like, hold on. She's not a real doctor, okay? Come on. Let's be real here.
She can't save your life. She can save a tooth's life, but she can't save your actual life. She can barely do CPR. Okay, they're not. It's medical field adjacent.
She can save your dating life because your breath.
Yeah, because of that halitosis, you bitch.
You smelly whore.
Yeah, and then that's when I'm like, hey, great dinner. I'll see you guys when I see you. All right.
Yeah, and a Rosie Tran leaves.
Wait,
because you called her whore.
Oh yeah. Wait. Okay, for a second I was like Rosie Tran. There's another Rosie Tran in the comedy community.
Oh, there's?
Yeah. So there's Rosie Tran, and Rosie Marie Tran is the actress.
Rosie Marie Tran. Okay, and Rosie Tran.
We'll call her RMT. RMT is the actress. RT, Rosie Tran, is the comedian. She's like based out of New York. Used to be an LA comic. I don't know why I'm talking about Rosie Tran.
I don't know.
Yeah. You'll
I'll meet her someday.
She's for sure. But yeah, I want to raise her. But right now, of course, like, she's having fun. I want her to be a kid first. I want her to be a kid. I don't want her to get involved in all this BS, all these movements that are happening, and they're trying to they're indoctrinating children into all these movements.
Yeah.
Of course, I want her to learn like critical race theory. I want her to learn how this country was built on the backs of us, and I want her to know where and why she can stand up and demand things. Mm-hmm. I think that's important. I think critical race theory is important in that essence. And then from there, she can just go do whatever she wants to do, whatever she has fun with. And I see my friends and their children, their kids are trying to go through all these gender exchanges and trying to go through all these transformations. And I'm like, you're 11 years old. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? What are you doing to this freaking prepubescent child? That is rough, man. I can't get on board with that. But like, if she wants to talk about it, we could talk about it. But we're not gonna transform your entire biological structure for the purpose of you getting more views on TikTok. This is not gonna happen,
dude. People do a lot of things for that, because there is the
you need content.
Yeah,
you need content.
But the reward system, the way it hits your brain, especially when you're not used to a certain amount of attention in the beginning, I used to be addicted to drugs, man, and when I started getting shit like that, it was like a fucking drug. I was like I was winning like Las Vegas gambling or some shit. It was fucking crazy.
They've done research where like every time you get a like, a tiny amount of dopamine gets released. So big tech tied that into, together and made now they fucking own the world.
Yeah.
Now they own the fucking world just based on giving people little likes. These likes that typically don't generate into money. Mm-hmm. They don't. You get these little likes, and there's kids killing themselves because they don't have enough likes. You get the whole like social media problem. Like, I feel like we should only social media should be open at certain hours of the day, like a business. It needs to be regulated.
Like in China, they do that.
Like 8 to 5, you're allowed to do it. Yeah. I don't know.
I think they do it something like that, especially for the kids.
Oh,
There's
man.
some regulations.
Yeah, so maybe like under 18, you're only open like to certain hours of the day where you can go on, look at your thing. My child is 11 months old. She already knows how to use an iPhone.
That's crazy.
It's that intelligently designed. Yeah. She grabs it and she gets... Well, I mean, she probably just watches us, but that's the first thing she'll grab. You can put all her favorite toys out there. You can put all her favorite treats out there. You put a fucking cell phone in the mix somewhere. You bury it under. She'll move it all and grab the iPhone.
That's what my nephews do too. And my cousin bought a shit ton of toys for the she's got 3 kids, 3 boys. And it's the cell phone. And they're so good. Like you said, they're good at that. And one of them, they can't even speak, but they're fucking watching these YouTube videos over and over and over.
Yeah, and they're clicking, they're swiping, they know exactly which finger to use. They're swiping like rhythmically, just with the phone, with the program. And their eyes like just bug out when they see the light.
They get
blue light.
When you get monolid, like that.
Yeah.
When you turn Korean.
They all my child turns Korean and she's like, oh, Moana.
Moana.
Yeah.
Moana.
It's like, this joke is so inconsistent. No, but dude, raising a child right now is it's tricky. It's gonna be really tricky, but luckily my wife and I are we're on the same page and we're just trying to raise a decent human being. But then I don't know if that's enough to survive what's coming for us, whatever it is that they got planned for us, because the Sentinels are planning something fucking crazy for us down the road, where it doesn't involve us making more money, because when they see, like, remember when they tried to shut down OnlyFans?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, there were too many millionaires were being made. Too many, like, no, you're a hooker. You're supposed to be out on the street. You're supposed to be out. You're supposed to go pay your pimp and pay all your dues as a hooker. You're not allowed to do it as a decent, legitimized sex worker. So anytime you see that and you're just like, oh man, they're mad. They're mad that more people are making money. So they're gonna do whatever it takes to keep, Wendy's employees. You see all that going. So now that we're trying our best not to work those jobs, eventually people have to go back and do their side hustles or whatever. But the fact that we don't want to do that anymore and we're demanding like living wages, they are mad. I mean, the fact that a lot of corporations don't even offer overtime pay anymore is ridiculous. You're like, okay, so more power to people that can work from home. I'm like, if we all stood together and demanded it, and we just like saved all our money. Well, I think we're already doing that, where we're like holding on to our money and not working. And like this next generation, I respect them for that, for saying fuck you to the 9 to 5, because really, fuck the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is so like antiquated. Like, I should be able to work wherever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, smoke as much weed as I want. I don't even smoke, but like, that's the reason why we can't even get decent fucking IT people. All the IT people that work in IT that get drug tested are a bunch of fucking squares. They're not even great at their jobs, because we keep getting all their fucking data hacked constantly. You get a notification like every other month, like, hey, sorry, there was a data leak. And like, who's your guy? Well, who's manning the freaking firewall? Like, oh, some clean cut square that like knows how to code a little bit? No. Give me the fucking Adderall snorting fucking child who sits there and just like can blaze through all his video games in a matter of hours, and pay him all the fucking money and have him defend our fucking information. But it keeps on leaking out every single other month because we don't have the right people working. Like, it's to a point where like, I think NSA was like, hey, we're not drug testing anymore. Or the FBI, I think it was.
Really?
Like the people that the IT people and like the FBI, because all the other countries, they don't really care about that. I mean, they're going to just hire whoever's good at their job. That's why, like, if you can just hire people who are good at their job, great. That'll be fine. We'll work better. We'll work longer hours. We're just good at our jobs. Instead of some person who's just like, oh, well, I'm like, they were negative on their drug tests. Who gives a fuck about drugs? Like, everybody's doing drugs now. That's fine. As long as they don't kill themselves, that's fine. Let them do all the fucking drugs they want, as long as they're good at whatever they do. Who cares? Like, what was it? Portland? Everything is legalized in Oregon now?
Really?
Yeah. Everything's legal. You can't get, I mean, they have like the most strip clubs per capita in Portland, and then they have they legalize mushrooms, and now they're finally like starting to ease up on like mushroom restrictions, like magic mushrooms. People are like microdosing and just opening up more, because guess what? Big pharma was killing off people with all their medications that weren't working. So as soon as all these documentaries came out about people using drugs and getting better, getting off all their fucking medications. Well, not all the medications, but maybe like one or two. They're able to sleep. They're able to do whatever the heck they want, and we should have that freedom. We tout the word freedom so much in America, but we really don't have a lot of it. You know, and now that we're having it, all the people who are also screaming freedom at the top, they're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're having too much freedom. There's too much freedom. Calm down. Calm down. We will only give you a certain amount of freedom. We're going too far with the freedom thing, all right? And I think it starts with like getting rid of religion. Or not even getting rid of it.
Completely rid of religion.
I mean, some people, that's their whole fucking lives. I don't want to hurt them. If that's your jam, do it. But like, can you like keep it in your pants, right? Keep your religion in your pants.
Like, don't forcefully push it on people, and if they don't believe in what you believe, don't like condemn them.
Yeah. And and I think that's most religious people for the most part, but you got a couple like psychopaths that are like
a few are crazy.
mega churches you were talking about that create these fucking these soldiers for like God. I'm like, whoa, calm down, a soldier? You're a soldier for God? Yeah. What are you gonna commit another crusade? Like, chill out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put your finger away. Every time you point your finger, people lose their lives.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'll talk like this.
Yeah.
No, but
fold your hands and pray to God, motherfucker. Shit.
No, but if we can back up the truck a little bit on religion and move the truck forward a little bit on like drug use and freedom and just taking care of people and normalizing a lot of shit, man, we can go so much further. But yeah. If we can back away from a lot of that just to like laugh and not take everything so serious, it'd be a good deal. It'd be a better deal for society.
I agree. Yeah. Because people are suppressing themselves a little too much, and that turns to, especially even if you're suppressing your smile and your urge to laugh, then you slowly become hateful.
It turns into cancer.
It does turn into cancer, literally.
Yeah. All your mental, I guess, oppression. All your mental oppressions eventually turn into some kind of physical disease. It's been shown a lot. Like, you see people who've been like are stressed out, anxiety, and dealing with all their issues. They start getting like all the bumps on their back, their knots. They start getting knots on their back. So when someone who has a high pressure job, when they go for a massage, there's a shit ton of knots in their back. And when you got a knot, there's like no blood flow going through those knots. And so when you get massaged, like especially my wife, she has a high stress job, even though it's not in the medical field, it's medical field adjacent. It's still pretty stressful. Yeah. Dealing with all these fucking wealthy people and dealing with like the hoity-toity in Santa Monica, and she gets stressed out from all that. So when she goes for her massage, she's like, "Oh my God, I had like 7 knots in my back." Damn. That's not good for you. Yeah. That's not good for you. Luckily, like, she's got a decent sense of humor, so she can laugh at shit.
Well, I don't think you would have married her if she didn't have a decent sense of humor. No,
man. I
don't think any of us could marry.
It was tricky marrying an Asian woman. I'll tell you, it was tricky because like when you grow up in a culture and you kind of want to get away from it, like there's so much trauma in the Asian community that, you know, we just want something different. Like, especially me, I wanted something different. I was dating outside my race already before I met my wife, because I'd been like, I don't know, I just you get tired. You get tired of cultural upbringings, and you not even tired and like, oh, I'm fed up with it. You're just like so used to it, so mundane. So dating Asian women became mundane for me. I'm like, okay, but mostly because I'm also doing my thing, and like an Asian woman typically would never date a comedian unless they're already successful and doing their thing. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, this generation is a little more different. They're willing to like look past that because people are, you know, getting desperate now. So when I see somebody dating a comedian now, I'm just like, oh, okay, all right.
You were lonely, weren't you?
Yeah, you were desperate. You were desperate. We're like the last kid to be picked on a basketball team. You know, Asian men in general, like comedians in general, we're like the last to be picked typically. Like, you're dating a what?
It doesn't help me in online dating at all.
Not
the ones that I matched with me, when they met up with me, they were just like, I just wanted to see if you're really funny or not.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like, because I wasn't sure, because like a comedian, I'm like, but then, but you're funny. You're like, you know, and then, but that happened a few times. Most of the time, they don't, because online dating is about the idea of on paper what would work great together for the future, all this and stuff. And not to mention, I deliver food to fucking pay my bills and pay rent and stuff. Sure. So if in occupation, there's always like job title. If I put food delivery man.
Oh yeah.
Imagine her.
No.
Girl, oh my God, this new guy that I'm talking to, he does DoorDash. God, that's never gonna happen.
And he delivers in 30 minutes or less.
He's always on time. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just like in bed. He's like 30 minutes or less. I'm never there like for too long. It's fantastic. 5 stars.
Yeah. He's also got heat bags, so it keeps the food very fresh.
But if you're a white guy who did DoorDash, come on, you'd be fucking them over the fucking dish that they ordered. Like,
he's living on the edge. That's what he is. He's like that guy that lives in a van, even though he's a rich as fuck.
Yeah.
But
he's eccentric.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but even like after like just dating outside my race for a while, then like I met my wife at a party.
What kind of Asian party?
The only type of parties I go to. I'm kidding. No, it was her sisters. Her sisters, they throw like a big Christmas party every year. Everybody in the community goes over to her place because she has like a humongous house. They make a bunch of food. Oh, wow. Everybody eats. Everybody drinks, and then everybody fights. You know, they fight. This is a Vietnamese
party, isn't it?
Yeah, Vietnamese
party. People fucking go in, man. Yeah, you guys go hard.
When the Hennessy and was it the Cordon Bleu Hennessy? I think it's the Cordon Bleu. It's called Cordon.
Crown Royale. Also, you guys drink the Crown Royale, don't you?
Yeah, definitely Crown Royal. Any cognac. But there's a specific Vietnamese brand called Cordon. I think it's Cordon Bleu. But it's like super strong VSOP cognac.
Shit.
Fucking pour that in a goddamn big rig and it'll run. Like that's the type of shit that they drink.
Yeah, that'll give you an accent that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, it'll go right back down to the south, man.
And a couple more shots, you go from that to like the what do you know? It's like that's not even really a real Vietnamese accent. It's like you got so drunk it turned.
No, man, I tell you what, man. Like you sound like a Vietnamese boomhauer now. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But the thing we do.
Dude, it's crazy. And then I met her, and then she was actually funny, because, dude, in my experience, like Asian women and like Vietnamese culture specifically don't really do comedy. I hardly ever see Vietnamese people at a comedy show unless they've elevated themselves above the culture. You know, not in a bad way, in a way like they want to explore more. They've been outside their race. They've been outside their teachings and their thinkings. And she obviously had. And it turns out her ex-boyfriend, white guy, was at the party trying to save their relationship. And then I was drunk and I had liquid confidence. So I already got her number and already like pulled her. And we ended up hooking up that night.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, this is very refreshing. Okay, this is very refreshing. I've never gotten this whole vibe from a Vietnamese girl. This is so wild to me. It blew my mind at the time. So I was like, okay, we could talk some more. We could talk some more. Also, like, you know, we were having that new sex, so it's always good.
Yeah.
You know, new sex is great. But now, you know, I've taken a vow of celibacy, aka I am a father now. So don't recommend it, but I highly recommend it, if that makes sense. But yeah, so now like, but then like slowly, I noticed like I'm really tapping more back into my culture, which is, it's nice. It's nice to be like, oh yeah, I remember like we speak Vietnamese, so my Vietnamese stays fresh, which is good, because I'll book things where like they ask me to speak Vietnamese, and I'm like, oh yeah, my Vietnamese is fluent. This is fine. I can get this all day long. So
are you really fluent, or you just say it?
I can speak it. I'm conversational.
Like proficiently, like pretty like. Oh, conversationally, that's good. That's enough.
Yeah, where like we went to Vietnam and I was able to communicate with everybody.
That's cool.
So I was like, okay. What about you? Like, you speak Korean?
My Korean is not that great, but
conversational.
I can't really emote intelligently, like if I talk about my feelings and shit. But I get around.
But that's
I can
all
order.
Korean people.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. We have no word for joy.
Yeah,
just anger and rage. No, but I can get around. And when I drink or whatever, or now that I'm being more confident and just, my Korean was worse when I was embarrassed worrying about what I sounded like.
Yeah.
But then I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
And because I don't, with the confidence, right? Then I'm like remembering words and shit. And, you know, some people are like, no, you can't speak. I'm like, no, talk to me a little longer. Ask me about math or like history. It's game over. I can't do shit,
Same
right?
here. I'm tapped out when you start getting technical.
Yeah. But I mean, do you remember Lil Dicky's show? What's his show called? You know, Lil Dicky?
The
It's
one
on
with
Hulu.
Santino. Yeah.
Yeah. But that show, right? They had a Korean guy.
Yeah, it's called Dave.
Dave, he was like a half Korean dude. I was actually a background actor in that fucking scene, but his Korean was horrible.
I don't think he's Korean.
He probably wasn't. I don't know.
No.
But you know what I'm talking about? Where he's like
The Ki Hung Lee guy.
yelling or some shit. He's
Yeah,
like,
the guy who had his laptop.
I don't know about the. No, not him. No, I'm talking about the gangster guy.
The gangster guy.
There's a scene with a gangster.
A Korean gangster?
Yeah. You're supposed to be. He's a Korean gangster, and then like one of the CL, the K-pop girl, wasn't there. In the,
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're
episode.
talking about. So yeah, he was
the
probably
ponytail
Korean.
dude, the long hair guy.
Yeah.
His Korean is not Korean at all. Like he can't speak it for shit, and he couldn't even do the Asian squat correctly. So I'm like, this dude was probably adopted or something. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering who passed him with the the Korean equivalent to English would be like if
Well,
he says
they're
get
not
over
going to
here.
spend money to like hire a consultant.
No,
or-
but it's like the simplest level. Like
Yeah.
so simple. He wasn't saying
That's
he was
bad.
saying get over here. In comparison to the way he said it in Korean, it sounded like go over here.
Oh boy.
Reel it back. Get over here.
Man, I bet you he's like probably like a big deal in some community, or like he was probably a friend because they're gonna hire their friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a show like that, like they're mostly like only like what Lil Dicky and Santino were like the most well known, but like the rest of them are probably like in their circles. I mean, which is kind of cool. I would do the same shit, but yeah, when you're tapping into when you're representing a culture, you got to do a little more.
Yeah, but that Ki Hong Lee dude, he actually speaks Korean.
He's Korean.
No, he's legit Korean. He speaks Korean.
Ki Hong Lee's Korean. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
No, I only know who he is because me and him used to go head to head a lot on bookings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we used to be
shit.
like right there. So he obviously won, but like he obviously won. But yeah, me and him used to go head to head a lot, and that's the only reason I know him. So I'm just like, oh, cool. I didn't even know he's Korean. But hey, dude's a solid actor, man. He's working.
Yeah.
He's working.
He's
so
doing it. He's doing
anybody out there that is working and representing us, even though he had to like do the fucking accent for that Tina Fey show for a whole season.
What Tina
I'm
Fey
just like, okay.
Like Parks and Rec or some shit like that? Or?
Nah, it was a show. God, I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, the Ellie Kemper show. The where she was like she was part of a cult for a long time, and then she finally got released from the cult, so she's going back into society. It's a pretty funny show. But then when he popped on screen, I was like, oh hey, it's Key. And then when he opened up his mouth, I was like, oh man, did we really have to go there? This is so, and he was like a delivery like driver.
Oh, was it? Oh, man.
But he was on a bicycle. So when they played all those stereotypes, I was like, all right, I can't really watch this with as much enthusiasm anymore because I thought it was funny. But I went back and I rewatched it and I was like, okay, it's decent. At least he's working. He's got health insurance. Okay, that's what I aspire for, like to work and to have health insurance. If you got those two things, that means you're batting damn near 1,000 in this business. If you got health care from the business, because they keep raising the fucking standards every fucking time. In the middle of a pandemic, also, that's when they also jacked up the requirements. You have to earn like $25,000. It used to be $14,000 a year to get health insurance.
Oh, with SAG?
Through the union.
Fuck, dude.
And now they jacked it up by 10 G's in the middle of a pandemic. I was like, y'all are some scumbags over there. Oh my God. What? In the middle of a pandemic? That is like any corporation who like pulled some shit like that during a pandemic, man, go fuck yourselves. Like, really? Y'all ain't about this fucking country. Y'all about your corporation. Y'all about, which I get. I mean, you're just all about the money. That's just fine. But don't pretend like you're trying to help people.
Yeah.
But that's when I have a problem. Like, if you're going to be a greedy fucking conglomerate, go do your thing. Be evil. Be evil and do your thing. But just don't come off like you care about people and don't release these commercials. You're acting like all the pharmaceutical companies. with their commercials and like, oh, don't you want to change your life? Oh, look at me, I'm so happy. Side effects include suicide, anal bleeding, diarrhea of the mouth, and you're like, yo, that's not good. How did your scientists not like take that out of the pill? Like, why does it have to do all that in order to do this? You're not smart enough. What are you, hiring scientists out of the fucking woods? Like, no, you're doing a bad job. You're doing a bad job. No, I can't stand when people just pretend to not be who the fuck they are.
Me too.
You know, it's exhausting. Like it is what it is. If you want to do like certain things, like I'll go back to the fucking dating thing. Like if you want to date outside your race, go for it. But when the people inside your race are just like, hey, we're feeling this way and we're feeling that way, and it just goes back to I guess our male egos, right? Like another thing, like I saw when you were talking about the whole like wanting to be fetishized. Oh, yeah. And I was about that 110%. Like for example, like when they fetishize Asian women, and that like became a whole movement. I agree with it, but also, can you imagine all the Asian women that were like, "Hey, we're trying to be fetishized over here." Yeah, right. Yeah, like this is a thing for us. So you shouldn't tell those women not to like not feel fetishized when they want to be fetishized. And when Asian men speak up about wanting to be fetishized, I found like that was such an interesting point, because that's something that's been in the back of my head. Like, who doesn't want to be fetishized?
Right.
Who doesn't want to have people like that think that they're the shit? Like, fetishize doesn't always have to be about sex. It doesn't. I mean, it's commonly associated with sex, but when you fetishize like another culture, you're like, I appreciate it. This is great. I think I want to be a part of that culture, but don't be Rachel Dolezal or something. Like, don't do that. But also, like, Rachel Dolezal, she did more for the community than I've seen a lot of fucking people do for their community. So in the Asian culture, like, for some reason, like, you see like this uptick of like chefs that are like cooking Asian food, right? Yeah. But like you'll see some companies like do videos, and it's so well thought out. It's for clout. They'll put like a white guy making pho or something, or a white guy making Korean food or something, and then he'll do something so obviously wrong, mixing up the recipes or doing something different, and it'll become a thing. And then people are like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. This is so bullshit, cultural appropriation. Again, your outrage is feeding it.
It's marketing, dude.
It's marketing.
It's all marketing. And I know that on my end, because people were really coming at me like hard, like heavily, like DMing me, telling me like I'm a race traitor. But either way, they like change the narrative and place it on me because they're just angry and they wanted something to be angry about, but also because they have the privilege of being like fetishized in a way. But they're also acting like, dude, some of the women that DM me was talking shit to me, I'm like, no matter how much Asian women get fetishized, you're not that. You're not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the ones that comments I saw, like people were fucking talking trash about me. A lot of guys, Asian guys too, like never thought he was funny, or like he looks like a doorknob, just like talking shit. But they didn't see that I was trying to empower Asian men, because we've always been shit on so heavily. But yeah, that taught me a lot about that shit. So I'm just like the whole. Well, and then me getting more followers from that and more attention, which wasn't even I didn't even intend for that to happen, but of course that's why, like you're saying, the previous point, that's why these like companies will put white people to enrage, because it's pushing out. So not only does it like push out the message or like their brand name or whatever it is, but it also gets people who are sick of that like outrage culture to actually ride for them and support them, which ramps up not just the awareness of the company, but like sales as well. Yeah, man. Like people don't think about that. If you don't want to support it,
just ignore it.
Exactly. Nothing's worse. Just like I tell every fucking friend that I have that's a girl, when they're like, he just always contacts me, it's fucking annoying, I told him it's over. And I was like, well, what did you ever decide? Did you ignore his text? Wait. Well, I mean, I told him how I felt. I told him to leave me alone. I'm like, no, but have you ignored him? Because if you ignore him, he's going to leave you alone, and he'll try every like week, maybe 2 months later, but he'll stop eventually.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then they always switch.
Radio
That's when
sound.
they change, and then because
They
want
like
the attention.
Exactly.
And then right?
That's the biggest commodity
Yep.
in today's age is attention. So if you don't like something, just ignore it, and it'll go away in your mind and your heart. If it's not for you, but the fact that you were talking about something that was personal to you, and then they attacked you for that, it's so silly. Like, yo, we're just talking about Asian men. Like, why you got to make it about you? That's just like, even in my household, when I talk about how I did something, my wife will just chime in and like, well, I did this. I'm like, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about how you did this thing. I'm just like, oh, okay, great. I was just talking to like my daughter about how I was able to do something for her. Like, oh yeah, daddy made this for you. Daddy did that for you. And then my wife will chime in like, oh yeah, but I also did the other thing. I'm like, this is not about you. I'm just trying to I'm just reaffirming that I'm showing up for her, to her, and not like, you don't have to chime in. It's not a rat race. It's not a rat race. But I think that's like an age old thing where like men and women are always just competing or whatever. Man, the non-binary folks got it good. They got it good. They're out of the fucking rat race. They're out of fucking competing with each other. That must be nice. I'm gonna go non-binary soon.
They're the most unified.
Most unified group of people. They're just like, hey, forget all these societal narratives. I'm just gonna go do my thing. Like, I do appreciate that about the culture, about their culture. It's nice. It's refreshing. But yeah, but the fact that we identify as cis in our genders, like we have to deal with all these things. Yep. And it can be exhausting sometimes, especially as an Asian male, when like for like decades and decades and decades, we've been like the butt of every single joke. Yeah. A lot of comedians, a lot of entertainers aren't helping with our thing.
Steve Harvey.
Oh boy, Steve Harvey.
Asian men attractive.
Yep. Hey, that's good. That's gonna be his thing. But he's also a comedian, so he's gonna make that joke.
Yeah.
If it was like a fucking senator or some CEO of some corporation, we're like, yo, fuck you. But Steve Harvey again is a comedian. You can make those jokes if you want to, but then that just means we have to be better at our jobs. Like, dude, nowadays for an Asian man to like court an Asian woman, we have to be so goddamn impressive. And this is a theory that I have. Like, we have to be super impressive at what we do, because Asian women are just gonna date what's there. No one is just gonna date what's there and what's easy. They're gonna want to go for something that wakes them up a little bit. You know, so we have to be accomplished in whatever we are, do what we do. One of the biggest things, be good in bed, so we can like reverse that big stereotype. Yep. Man, you better go double time in there, all right? You better take some pills or something. You better take some like go get, if you got a micro penis, go get like penis attachment surgery. Go do something. Do whatever it takes. I don't think we should have to accept who we are, what we are, when we are, and how we're born. If we're not happy, if you're not happy, change it up. Mm-hmm. Change it up. There's nothing wrong with changing it up.
But work with what you got too at the same time. Like,
work with what you got.
If you have a tiny ass dick, you better be the best pussy licking motherfucker. You better finger banging.
You better eat pussy so good that she pays for your penis enlargement surgery. Like that.
Right? So good that your little fucking tiny dick. Yeah. You have to, after you eat her out, like she's like fucking a minute from coming, then you just scissor her with your tiny little baby clit dick and then finish her off like that. So then her brain says, he fucked me good.
Yeah, and
you didn't fuck her.
And then go and then go take the fucking penis enlargement pills and surgery and go do whatever fucking makes you happy. We shouldn't, like, there's like the whole thing about how like, oh, we should accept who we are, when we are, where we are. Then why do gyms exist? Why do gyms exist? Like,
hey, don't shame me.
No, I'm not shaming you.
How dare you?
I'm saying, you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want.
No, but you're right, though. You're right about that, though. Like, being too satisfied with where you already are, where you're really not satisfied. You're just being lazy with your discomfort. You don't feel good about yourself.
Yeah, and then when you demand that people like you just the way you are, when you are, and how you are, but you're not getting the results that you want or you think that you should get, it's on you.
If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, you just, why don't you become more interesting? Why don't you, like, whatever type of person you're trying to go after, why don't you make sure that they are going after that as well? instead of making society think a whole certain way. I'm like, no, if that's not the thing, then why should we make it the thing? It's kind of genius. It's kind of genius because it's like an old Don Draper quote. You ever watch Mad Men?
No.
So he has this quote in there that's like legendary. He says, if you don't like the conversation, change it. So that's what all of society is trying to do, is just constantly change the conversation. Yeah. It's interesting, but also at the same time, it's exhausting. You're like, you want me to like everything? You want me to like all of it? You want me to call everything beautiful and brave? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. And guess what? I'm going to go further and talk shit about it on stage because it makes me laugh. And when the audience is laughing, they're also on board with that because they're also exhausted. That's why comedy clubs all the shows have been sold out. Because people...
Recently?
Yeah.
Really?
Like everywhere, like comedy clubs are packed. Shit. Of course, like with like COVID considering, but still like all the comedy shows are packed because people... like to go in there. Like only America is really thinking all these new ways of, just bravery and acceptance and everything. And that goes for like all genders and all cultures. Like, yeah, we're there. We'll appreciate you if you show up and, put on your best and just be there. Great. We're going to accept you as always. But if you're not and you're asking that, there's a joke in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And you're going to hear the joke. You're going to hear the joke and we're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. And even in like, I bring up roasting again because it has saved people's lives before. Like roasting has saved people's lives because, man, it puts a fucking mirror up to your face and you get punched right through the fucking mirror.
Because it reveals a thing about you that other people are being too nice to let you know. So you keep operating the same way, which fucks your whole life up in friendships, relationships, whatever, maybe even business.
Of course.
But then all of a sudden they're like, man, you're fucking, look, something about you fucking asshole. When you did this thing where you always one up everybody, and their misery.
You think your shit doesn't stink, but we know that's untrue because you've never like killed at a comedy club. Like that's a typical roast joke, whatever. And then when you do that, there's like the whole room goes, oh, and then you go home thinking, I gotta get better at comedy. Okay,
you gotta do something with that energy. So you can there's two choices of action. You either do nothing with it, let it make you miserable, and then fucking resent the world and that person that said that, or you do the thing that you're talking about, which is maybe take a little look at yourself and wonder, is there an element of truth to that, and can I get better?
Of course, we can always get better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can always get better.
We can always get better, but then also you're allowed to take a break to get better. I think that's probably
a
break from trying to get better.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people get so caught up in, like they talk about it like hustle culture, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, hustle culture. Oh, it's bad for you. It's not bad for you. Hustle culture is not bad for you. It's bad for you when you are an addict and you do it all. Like I'm an addict as well. Like I know when to take a break. I know when to pull back. I know when to let the jets cool off. And man, I'm coming back so fucking hard. And all that short road that I was going to cover in exhaustion, I've already like leaped and bounded over it.
Because you took that break.
I took a break.
Yeah. Well, so that's interesting. I want to hear your insight on that, because I actually just got out of that complete burnout to where it led to like massive depression just like 5 days ago or a couple of days ago. I completely got out of it, but I didn't see.
In what sense?
The hustle, Nate. Like I thought I had to always think about it as well, like 24/7, and it was destroying me, and I didn't even know. And I wanted to delete everything I have. I wanted to. I didn't enjoy stand up anymore. I didn't enjoy anything, and I was just like, it's like a zombie. Yeah. And then I took, with the holidays, I took like a week and a half off, or almost even I think 2 weeks of. I think I posted like one or two videos here and there, but I really took a break from social media and stand up, and then I felt massive amounts of guilt. But then I'm like, okay, well, what you were doing before, I mean, it's not working. So maybe you do need a break because you feel like trashed and you're tired all the time, blah blah. Yeah. And taking that break allowed me to kind of do like other stuff, work on other things in my life, and then that added to it. And like now me feeling and enjoying it again feels like the leaps and bounds from where I was, because it's just completely diminishing returns. There was no return anymore.
You lose perspective. That's the biggest problem with hustle culture. If you're constantly nonstop, you lose perspective. you let relationships die. I make sure, and this is like a page out of Shonda Rhimes' book. She says if her kid asked her to play, she would drop everything and play with her no matter what the hell is going on.
How old is your kid?
11 months. So
I see.
Anytime, like maybe I'm about to leave, but I prepare everything early enough to where if I have a show to go to, and then my daughter puts her hands out, guess what? I've already scheduled the time in case I need to. So I play with her a little bit, extra hugs, extra kisses. Cool, that's great. She's probably gonna be a failure because of it, but it's she'll be a happy failure.
Too much love. Too much love.
Too much love. So like but I make sure I play with her because she said that in an interview, and I'm like, God damn, if Shonda Rhimes can take a break, so can I. All right,
yeah.
I can take a break. I can talk to my daughter. I can just like spend a little extra time with her, and guess what? She might do something that gives me an even better joke, or like I take one night off of like. Doing 5-10 shows a week to hang out with my wife. And guess what? She gave me a fucking new closer that destroys because I have a little more perspective. So if you see those like influencers, I guess, that they're tapped out. They're tapped out.
Dude,
so they have to stage stuff. And then guess what? They lose followers because everybody knows they stage it. And they're just like, oh, fuck you. You have no perspective because you're constantly you're hammering it. You're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Like there's no point in constantly fucking doing it. That's why, like, even though I wanted to get on social media and like start doing content and putting out, it's just so much fucking work, and it's not important to me. Like, what's important to me is how I do on stage, and then from there I can backtrack, and then I can do all these other little cool things, and eventually I will to start doing social media stuff. I eventually will do all that just because it's part of the fucking thing that we have to do now. We can't just be a comic anymore.
Yeah.
That's how you'll die broken alone. It's fucking rough. But I want to be able to do more and more, and like do TV, do whatever. Like, hey, the well goes really deep. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's with everybody. If the well goes pretty deep for people that like look in they dig the right fucking well for themselves. You can really tap into shit, and that's why I listen to like a lot of like, I don't know, maybe this is a side product of being like a self-help addict. Like, I love like self-help stuff.
Oh, dude, I've been doing that shit for like, I got books everywhere.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Like when I was in high school and I got one of my first job at a hospital, like my manager recommended me like Stephen Covey. And I've been hooked ever since because like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah, I have that. Literally, I have it somewhere. Yeah.
Dude, I started reading that. I'm just like, it's ridiculous. And then I got into like my current addiction right now is David Goggins. Have you listened to his stuff?
You need to dig in the cookie jar when you want to quit. Bring up all your demons. The demons are there for a reason. Yeah. When it's time, that's when it's raining. It doesn't matter. That's when you need to do it the most. Stay hard.
That's right. Don't leave anything in the tank. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm with this. But then also to take a couple of freaking days off because like we are going to get to our eventual destinations and stuff. But man, you don't gotta kill yourself to get there.
Yeah, I thought you had to. I really thought you had to.
Me too.
I thought I prided myself on being the most like getting the least amount of sleep and still doing my fucking working to make the money during the day, and then like the video, shooting the videos, editing the videos, and then doing like the stand up and then all that, just every day, and then it becomes this fucking hamster wheel, and then I blended so much to the point there was no such thing as days. There's no Tuesday, there's no Friday, it's just.
It's like we're between renders.
Limbo.
It
was like limbo. Between renders.
We're between renders right now, and then we're constantly putting stuff out, and then I don't know, you lose perspective. I'm like, I admire people that can do that, but most of those people that do that on the regular don't really have day jobs. They don't really have day jobs, and that they have parents and their credit card. Like, I envy it. I'm just like, oh man, I wish I had a credit card I could swipe all the freaking time for that.
That I don't have to pay off.
Yeah, that I don't have to pay off. It's so nice to be there, but this just wasn't the life that was carved out for us. We got to work for our thing, and I think the fact that we have to work for our thing is gonna make it better. It has more perspective.
Agreed. I agree 100% on that.
Money's great, but how you get the money is even better. If you can get that money the way you want to get it, it's even better. But just like people that are on social media just for pure clout and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Do your thing. But I think the problem I have when I see it, no, I don't even have a problem with it. I enjoy it. When TikTokers start to do stand up, I think that's when it's hilarious.
It's bad, dude. It's really bad. It's fucking bad. And I hate when people say, bring me, like, they used to, before, and there would be like, oh, he's a big TikTok, when they first found out about it, and they knew I hated it, because I'm like, I'm a stand-up first.
No,
so
I'm
to
a
me, it's like a
stand-up
slap
first.
to my face. Like, I was, if I was gonna lose, if I had to choose between TikTok and stand-up, or like internet presence and stand-up, I would completely, I'd rather be unknown on the internet and do stand-up. Because that fills me.
See, I would do the other way.
Really?
Because there's money and sponsorship involved. No, I'm kidding. No, but like grass.
Easier said than done.
Grass is greener.
Grass is greener, definitely.
Grass is greener. I see people who are successful at that, and they're able to do both things and make money off of it.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I want to get there eventually, but not until I'm completely satisfied. I'm barely happy with my hour. Like, I'm barely starting to do my hour, and then now I'm happy with it. And when that takes off and does its thing, then eventually I will do the other things that I want to do. But yeah, stand up is number one. Stand up's our main bitch. Stand up's the main bitch. Everything else is a mistress. So if you work on that, because that's the hardest part. Like, but man, I admire those people that are on TikTok that can fill out a room. I'm just like, wow, they just want your vibes. All right, cool, do your thing, man. But if you can fill out people and if you can sell tickets and they're there for your vibes, you've won. And that's what makes me so angry. That's all they have to do.
Because you're now a draw.
Yeah.
Simply because of that. But also, just to clarify, like, I have friends that you guys know who you are. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about some other people, which I'm not gonna say names. That's just to clarify in case they're listening. But yeah, I mean, like, what I know though, because I'm in kind of both worlds in a way.
That's cool.
But not highly successful in either one. I'm just kind of like, hey, but just enough, like, oh, that kind of know him a little bit.
You're at the party.
I'm at the party.
Yeah, nice.
They don't know who I am, but they're like, you look like I think I've seen you at another party.
Yeah.
At a different house, but what's your name again?
Yeah.
It's like that. But like, literally, it's each side wants what the other has.
Always.
Like, dude, the influence people that I know, or people that have like some kind of like internet presence and they do well, I can't tell you how many have revealed to me that they wish they could do. Not even just me being able to go up and do that, but like you, like being able to do an hour. Like, I've never done an hour. They're like, how the fuck? They say, I wish I could do that.
I wish I could put out that much content.
Yeah, both sides.
I wish I could put out that much content.
I hear from both sides all the time. From each side, they say to me.
Yeah.
And just to give the people that do social media credit, because I mean, I do the videos too, but not as nearly as much as some of the people that I know. Those guys they go ham. But
they carry a camera everywhere.
But like, that takes so much fucking effort as well. Like, both like stand up takes so much fucking time and effort and like brain, like, right, trying to figure that joke. Like, it's like right there. Like, I know.
No, and there it goes. Oh shit! I should have held on tighter.
Yeah. And it's like that with the social media thing. Like, it's very similar, but I think it's.
I can't wait to hire people just to do my social media stuff for me.
That's a goal someday for me too. Because
there are
editing too. Fuck.
There are companies out there that do all that.
Yeah,
that's their main thing. Like, they make influencers. They like, that's their whole thing. They're like, oh, we're here. We're gonna help you go viral. You pay X amount of dollars, and here come those kids from those families that can afford all that, and they're willing to throw their kids into the fucking lion's den. And I'm like, hey, cool on you. Not gonna happen with my daughter, but. I mean, unless she really wants it, and she knows like her limits and bounds, and she's smart enough to like navigate it and like springboard it onto something, which is what like I'm able to do with stand up, and then I can go. Social media is like, you were saying both sides. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could like hire these companies that just make influencers. They have in some of these companies, like, they own houses in the hills, and they'll stick all their influencers in there.
Yeah.
Sorry. And That's so like I wish I could do that. But I don't even know if I want my daughter on that because eventually, oh my gosh, she's gonna want to. She's gonna want to make little like videos or whatever. And I'm like, cool. Like there's like a bunch of like young influencers, like dancing's a big one. Like they do all like the dances and then they go fucking viral. But then like, what do you do every time you go to a party? Like, oh, can you dance for us, monkey? Like they dance. Like I don't want her to hold all her value in that. And I think that's the problem now. We're holding all our value in social media. Like all these kids, like that's their only thing. That's the only thing you have. Like they've been manipulated enough to like think that that's the only thing they have. And you have so much more. But I do have hope because as I'm performing, I'm seeing like a lot of like younger faces in the crowd. Mm-hmm. And when I'm walking around before a show just to like see who's in the audience, age ranges, class ranges, like, you know, making assumptions, of course. I'm seeing younger faces and I'm like, all right, let's see if they laugh at these jokes, like the younger generation, because even though people were saying like, oh, you know, everybody's woke, they're not. Mm-hmm. That's why I can say woke culture is fucking dead. Because I'm seeing all these freaking audiences that come for comedy. Specifically, that they come in there and they all laugh. I'm like, oh, we're good. Comedy is gonna be fine.
Wow.
So anybody who says like, oh man, no, I just can't. I'm the cancel culture, blah blah blah. Like, no, you're just not funny. You're just not funny if that's like your main like stand. Why you're not getting laughs? Be funnier. Write a better fucking joke. Mm-hmm. They will laugh if your shit is well crafted enough. You can't always blame the audience. If you take a look at your audience real quick and actually care about the show you're putting on, you'll fucking destroy.
When you say care,
yeah,
like what's your definition of that?
Caring is like if I go
for the audience
into a city, right, wherever it might be. Like I just came back from Tucson. I do a quick, wiki about Tucson. When it was established, the racial demographic, political demographic. I look at all those jokes and I have enough material that I like to do that I can piece and play and just like, oh, okay, we're going to start off with this. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm seeing a lot of like married couples. I'm seeing like a lot of salt and pepper hair. Okay, so this one reference from the war is going to work with them. But also like, I remember the booker telling me like, hey, Alex, there's a lot of salt and pepper hair in the crowd. So just you might want to pull it back a little bit because I go hard. I go hard on like on
older people.
Not just on older people. Like we're talking about like I go into like I talk about sex. I talk about my culture. I talk about other cultures. I talk about whatever the fuck I think is funny that I can sleep with at night because I'm not gonna do a set that was crafted to them and then fucking bomb. Yeah, that's like the worst feeling ever. Like that's the worst feeling ever is just to try to appease the audience before you appease yourself. Like, no, I'm here for my jokes. You're gonna laugh at my jokes. I'd rather bomb with my stuff than like destroy with stuff that I feel like they would have loved. Like I don't want to coddle any audiences at all, and I don't think they want to be coddled either. Mm-hmm. So I would open up and talk to them about like, hey, I know I see a lot of salt and pepper in here, but I'm sure you guys have families, so you've fucked each other's brains out before. You had a good time. You probably had kids. You've smiled before. You've laughed before, and they were like cheering. Because I think that way is also out the window of like catering to like older people and just, oh, you got to work clean here. You got to work clean here. Like not when I'm on stage. I don't have to work clean because I know how to write my fucking jokes. Yeah. I know how to perform. I know how to fucking smile at the right fucking time on this joke just because I know it's really fucked up what I'm about to say. And I'm going to break it down. I'm going to walk you through and I'm going to smack you on the ass on your way out. And it's going to be a good time.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good time. So yeah, no, I think we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Like, especially, I'm talking about comedy in general. Like, I think comedy is going to be fine as long as we do the jokes we want to. Like, I'm seeing jokes come back or like I'm seeing certain words come back that are just like the word retarded is back. Oh, it's great. It's great. I've seen comics do it and certain words will never be back, but like, of course,
yeah,
like, just like little words like retarded, like, it's retarded, whatever. And it's back. It's part of a joke, and then we're retraining people to stop caring about certain words, because words don't necessarily they're not fucking, they don't cause physical harm, especially in joke form, but also like they have to use it right. You have to use it right. You can't just because they're saying like, oh well, the fear I think is that an audience member will go see a comedy show and then go commit acts of hate.
Imagine that happening.
Yeah. So there's people that actually think that that's a true thing. Like, oh man, you know, well, after these things, I started like thinking like, no, it's not on the comedian to, again, coddle the audience, to tell them, hey, by the way, this is a joke. It's obviously a fucking joke.
It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show. You're here for a show.
It's not a hate rally. Fuck,
yeah,
man.
it's not. But there are dumb people that do go to comedy shows to hear their fact in their head told as a joke to be reaffirmed as a fact. I didn't fart. That was my elbow on the table.
That was impressive that you did that because there's no skin showing. Your elbows covered with
I got very thick skin.
Holy shit.
My skin was coming through. Yeah,
it went through the fucking between the threads.
The fibers. It's a condition that I have called extra skinitis.
That's like a useless X-Men power.
It is. I just have a tough skin. It's not bulletproof. It's just really
malleable
and easy to wash.
Yes,
easy to wash. That's it. No, but no, I'm on this whole thing. No, but I just people need to stop using comedy or like comedy content for their little like outrage rallies, because I get it. It's a slow news day. What happened to you was a slow news day. They're like, there's nothing to talk about right now. Let's talk about this guy talking about how he wants to feel sexy. Like, what? Like, chill out. Yeah. And it's really weird where you see all these Asians come out the woodwork against Asians.
Right.
Saying like things that they think they're funny instead of supporting. If we turned the fucking ship around on that and y'all showed up to comedy shows, oh my God. Like, we would be off at a better place as a society as a whole, because Asians don't necessarily, like, comedy shows are not at the front of their brains. You know,
raves are.
Raves, doing, going to buy sneakers, car shows, hot import nights. Hot import nights. You remember HIN?
Yeah.
Of course. No, but you're seeing more and more and more, and of course, like, you know, the big names like, you know, Ronnie Chang and like Ali Wong, they can pull all the Asians out. You know, what's his name? Dr.
Ken Jeong?
Not Ken Jeong.
There's another doctor.
One out of Singapore, Jason Leong. You look him up. He's super funny. He has jokes like.
Jason, I'm right at that.
Yeah, Dr. Ken is more of a vibe comic. He's like the fun uncle. You know, he's the fun uncle at a party, and which, all respect to him, wildly successful doing his thing. Hey, he took what he had and he fucking made himself into a household name, which is dope. Like, I respect that. Not for me though. But pulling out, like bringing out more Asians, I'm just encouraging people to like go support Asian comedians. Like, regardless, we're gonna say some messed up things for sure, but stuff that you might not necessarily messed up, but things that you might not necessarily agree with. But if you show up, oh man, we're gonna have fun. Like the guys with like the Asian Not Asian podcast in New York, like, you know, Fumiabi and Mike Wynn, they're doing their thing. They're bringing Asians out too. So, but I don't have like a Asian produced show. I don't have a show that's specifically like all Asians. So I'm like a day walker. Like, I can like I can go like do Asian shows, and I will do every single Asian show I freaking can, and I'm capable of, as long as you throw me a little gas money. Yeah. But like on the flip side, then I can go do like a show in fucking Fresno and just have an equally good time. So it's like a tricky area as far as like draw, right? Draw is like the main concern with a comedian. Like, can I sell tickets? I'm telling Asians, come out, even though if it's not me, you see Asian comedians come to your town, fucking buy a ticket, buy 2, take your white boyfriend to it and have a good freaking time. It's gonna be fun. Or like your big ass linebacker, like black boyfriend, like hell yeah, let's go.
Sit on his lap. Fuck,
Sit on his lap.
Yeah, he's a big boy, man.
Be his ventriloquist doll. You know? Like, let's fucking go. Like that's all it is. We're just having fun up there. That's all it is. And when Asians come out to like point our finger and wag their fingers at us, like that's so bad for our culture, man. Yeah. That's so bad for our culture when you can't just like open up your fucking head a little bit, like take time off of like investing in crypto and come talk to us. Like come watch a comedy show. Like it's so silly. I think that's the reason why they don't take Asians seriously in the industry. Yeah, we got Shang-Chi, but that's one. All right. What else do we got besides Shang-Chi? Crazy Rich Asians. That's two. And half our culture can't even stand Crazy Rich Asians because they're like, we don't live like that. But some of us do.
Yeah.
Some people do live like that and just enjoy it, celebrate it, which they did. They did. And Shang-Chi was incredible. But we had to get to the point where we're like, they're debating like the validity of Simu Liu's looks. And they were like, why is that why are you discussing that? That is so silly. No, Why don't you talk about how it's amazing and it's our first Asian superhero? Fucking just celebrate it.
Yeah.
And we can continue to celebrate that. That's why we have so much, like, it's such an uphill battle.
It's infighting. It's infighting and criticism and basically everything that Asians complain about the way my parents treated me. They are their own parents to each other. Yeah. Literally, like, it's not good enough.
No.
It needs to be better, but it should just be, dude, right now, let's just put out quantity of it. And then what you say about the business, dude, like go to the fucking stand-up shows so that people see, oh, Asians do sell. Let's put more Asians on because it's money at the end of the day, too. Yeah, and it gives us more opportunity.
And they'll see that we could take a fucking joke because I think most of us can.
Yeah.
Like the more and more I see like Asian people at a show, like it encourages me to be fucking reckless and have fun. And guess what? When you're doing that, you guys are willing to take like 15 mollies, but you won't come to a comedy show and just like be reckless with your thoughts.
That's so fucking true,
bro.
Right?
Like, it frustrates me so much because then when they see us infighting, they're gonna let us fucking kill each other. Instead of trying to like put us on or anything, unless you're like white identifying. You see like some comedians that like that they obviously like didn't have any Asian friends and they get put on and you're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, I guess sure they'll get celebrated. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, but they can't even speak their language. They can't name like their favorite authentic Asian restaurant.
They won't even be able to write a script in the correct viewpoint.
Yeah, it would be inaccurate, and then they can just write off with that, and you're just like, hey, this is not necessarily a win. It's a win, but it's not like the best win. You're like, okay, cool. We
want the NGUYEN. We want that win because that's Asian.
Yeah, not the WINN. Like, no. We want a little more authenticity with what we're doing. Even like. Oh no, the whole like being an Asian in entertainment is so frustrating. Like recently, like my in-laws, out of nowhere, Facebook messaged me, hey, now that you have a kid, maybe you should look at a plan B so you can provide for your daughter. Unsolicited. Damn. I'm like, do you not realize what I do? Do you not realize where I work? I work at the fucking Comedy Store, 50 years strong. And then even when I booked the TV show, first guest star, like the first big guest star on a fucking big show with 20 million viewers, none of them reached back out to me to be like, hey, good job. They were just like, oh, okay. It fucking enrages me, and it just reminds me of like why we need to do better as a community because we don't support each other. As much as like these rallies want to like say it, like, oh, we got to stick together, we got to take care of each other. Again, half of them are doing it for clout. The other half just had a free afternoon, and then we just go back to whatever it is that we were doing because, again, we have our plates full. But if we really want to support each other, fucking actually support each other, put the backing behind it. Like, I overpaid for so much bullshit during like all the rallies that I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'll donate. I'll donate. Just give me a free T-shirt, or like I'll pay for the T-shirt. I always have supported like Asian owned businesses, but unless like you fucking make trash food, I'm not gonna come back. I don't care if your food sucks. I'm not gonna support it. If your food sucks, get better.
Yeah,
Get better.
Dude, I'm only willing to get diarrhea if it tastes good.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It has to be good going in, not good going out.
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't care how it goes out, but if it goes in, great. It can go out awful. But there's some like all these other businesses that I also check to see if they're owned by Asian people. But because you see some businesses that are like a ghost Asian owned business, they have like a
ghostwriter. Yeah,
exactly. They're just like,
or like a front, like a what's that thing? The word you used earlier? A plant.
A plant.
Like a plant.
Yeah, industry plant. The same way like Starbucks has like their little offshoot companies, offshoot coffee shop houses that feel like, you know, little mom and pop coffee shops, but they're owned by Starbucks. They do that too.
Pod people, man.
Exactly. They're trying to get the money each and every way they can. But yeah, just support like we're considered like small Asian businesses, and like whoever your favorite Asian entertainer are, just know that that's also like a small business of theirs. So if you really want to support like, and just if that's a thing that you want to do, go support like the Asian like businesses, and that's the way we could turn the tide. Because at the end of the day, to turn that tide, you need money to fucking turn that tide. So whatever entertainer it is that you support, man, that's why. And supporting each other, really supporting each other. Like, that's why, like, I like what you're doing, so I'm here supporting you. This is great. Comedians that I've seen. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I'm so polite that I say thank you for everything.
It's
like,
Asian culture. Thank you very much.
Asian culture. I'm also from the fucking South, so we say thank you for everything.
You're double the fucking. You double down on.
Yeah, hospitality.
Except when you walked in my house.
Yeah.
With your shoes on, I was like, hold on a minute.
Yo.
Hold on a minute.
I'm sorry. I been hanging around with a lot of the whites.
After comedy shows, like, hey, come to my house, man. Come on.
Yeah, everyone's got their foot on the fucking table, you know, crisscross with their Vans on, and calling their mothers bitches. That's what we've been doing, just hanging out with my good old whites.
That's America, man. That's freedom.
That's progress.
Calling your mom a bitch is freedom, guys.
I mean, some of the moms just be bitches. I mean, you can't blame them.
Bitches.
Mostly.
Snitches.
You know a kid like that, if he called his mom a bitch, she was a Karen. Yeah. I think there's some relation there. Nah, but I think I don't know, man. It's fine. We're in a fine time with all things going on. I know I'm just like ignoring the burning houses behind me sometimes, but sometimes some of those people light those houses on fire on purpose.
They probably set it on fire themselves, and they're looking at it like, dude, that's like a Gilbert Grape house, man. That's nice.
Yeah, a Gilbert. Yeah, sometimes you gotta burn that house down with all the like bad memories in it.
Yeah,
and then collect the insurance check.
Exactly.
So let's fucking burn that house down. But it's tricky to see. Like, I think that's where we're gonna be. Is we're getting smarter though. We're getting smarter as far as like identifying which house was set on fire on purpose.
Yeah.
I think we are.
So we don't get caught, or what?
No. So we don't have to like call the fire department for it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So we don't need to call the fire department for some of these houses that are like on fire. We're like, nah, that's a thing. Like, you see some, especially during the BLM marches, you see some businesses that were just like completely destroyed. But then you're like, wait, they wrote blacks run this town in the front of it, and you're like, no black person would write blacks run this place.
That's like what like a really, really racist white person that only grew up in a small town with just white people would say. But that's what they say, though, man.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they do.
Just keep spray painting it, just like those houses that wanted the insurance money, so they also spray painted on their house. Like,
yeah, didn't you know that black kids, like, they didn't use crayons growing up? They used graffiti. That's what they were. That's what they think in their mind. Like, that's what they did. No, they didn't.
Why did they spray paint on the part of the house that needed the remodeling? So that's what I feel like a lot of like our society's become. Everyone's got a fucking GoFundMe in some type of way, like an actual GoFundMe and like their version of a GoFundMe. Everyone wants that extra fucking change because times are so tough, and then also nobody wants to work. So that's their right to not want to work, but then they're gonna like come up with a different hustle, and you saw that a lot during like all the riots and the marches and everything, that people were like, yo, this is a great time to like cash in and blame it on BLM or blame it on Antifa or blame it on the fucking Proud Boys or blame it on like whoever the fuck, just so I can get this fucking money. And that's the most American thing I've ever seen. Woo!
Capitalist as fuck, man.
I wish I had the guts to fucking like park my car in the middle of DC Capitol and destroy it just so I can get another car.
Yeah, you know what? When you do that, you're American.
That's right.
Anyways, that's like a funny way to end the podcast. Okay. If you wanted to leave, I feel like you already did leave like a message, because I normally ask if there's something on your mind. Well, okay. How about this? I'll just ask you anyways.
Hit me.
If there's something that you've been thinking about, or like the way you live your life, or something simple. It could be something stupid or something, whatever. That's just you want to just leave the listeners and the viewers with. What is it?
Leave everything better than you found it.
Okay. I had an image of a dead body coming back to life. I don't know why I did that, but
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we're going to get to that technology where we can bring back people from the dead.
That's true. That's true.
Cloning. We're on our way.
We'll be there.
China's already there.
Yeah.
Why are we letting China get ahead of us in the cloning world? Because of fucking religion.
Just to clarify, like you said earlier, he doesn't hate religion.
I think it's holding us back. I don't hate it, but it is holding us back.
And that's an honest, authentic opinion, which will lead down another rabbit hole on this podcast. Isn't going to end with.
We'll do like 2 hours on that, so we're going to back out. Yeah, we're going to back. Part 2.
Alex, you want to plug in your socials or any website, whatever you got?
Yeah, I'm at Dapper Duong on all my social media. That's DapperDuong. It's just my last name with Dapper in front of it. Easy. Hit me up. I'm actually a friendly guy, despite all the the crazy shit I've said. I just had to get some of that off my chest, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for listening. And until then, I will see you on the next episode of the Setbreaker Podcast. Peace.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Órale.
What? What is he?
I don't know. Forget it.